everybody, it's episode 11 of the Reseller Stew, and today we're going to be talking about shipping tips and tricks and just how we do our shipping. I know some of the ladies do smaller items. I do sometimes bigger items. I don't know if they do bigger items or not, but we'll get into shipping and talking about postage and just different supplies we use and whatever else we want to talk about, because it's our show and we can talk about whatever we want. Right?
Right.
So how's everybody doing this week?
Awesome.
Busy.
We were just talking about it before we went live, that Robin's been like MIA because she's been like super duper busy.
I've been learning how to sell clothes since I got my mannequin this week, so that's been really fun.
I haven't looked at your pictures recently. Like, I haven't looked at your store to see like your new.
Fail, Deb. What a friend. Let me tell. No, I'm just joking.
Unfortunately, I don't stalk people's stores. I don't like wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I wonder what Tanya's doing now. Let me see how Tanya's sales are doing. That's not a very good picture.
That's not a very good picture.
Oh, that was great. Look at that one. That one's great. I don't critique them.
I study y'all store, man.
What I've learned over time is that some of the most successful sellers have what you could critique them and be like, well, that's not very good. I think it's because they're just, they spend less time just overanalyzing everything, and maybe that's why they're bigger sellers, because they're just pumping out more stuff.
Right.
So I remember when I first started, I had analysis paralysis, where I couldn't do anything. I was trying to make my listings so perfect, and I was trying to make my titles and keywords by the rule, how you were supposed to do them, and I got so overwhelmed by it that I just stopped listing. I wasn't doing anything.
The way that I'm listing clothes, I actually broke my record of how many listings I got up in a day by almost twice as much. It was ridiculous. My record was 11 or 12, seriously, because I was just doing shoes for the last year, and so you don't find that many shoes, but the ROI is a whole bunch. But anyway, so I got up 26, I think, listings in a day the other day.
That's awesome.
That's great. Are you using that method with the measuring tape you said you were going to try to use? Or?
Oh, heck yes. Yes. I think that's the only reason why I'm getting so many listings up in a day, is because it's please see photos for measurements, and then there you go, measuring tape, and bam, it's there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tanya, you sell clothes? I mean, I know do you sell any clothes at all?
Yeah, occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to sell men's Hawaiian shirts. And,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't even, these things right here, those are clothing. Mm-hmm. That is a 100% virgin wool Pendleton sport coat.
Ooh, get that listed.
Wow, I have had that for a year. I bought it because I had to. You just don't buy those things. You have to buy them. Mm-hmm. But I just brought it home and I hooked it up on the door. It was on the door forever. And then that's a Tactical 51 right there. Tactical 51, brand new, 2X shirt. Sweet. Yeah.
Cool. Robin, Darlene wants you to go over your method for measuring.
Oh. For measuring, I lay my items out on the table and take a measuring tape and measure the bust and measure the length and take pictures of them, and that's it. That's the only thing I do for measurement.
Yeah.
I have only started selling clothes this week, so that's just what I'm doing right now. I can't say that I might change later if it works. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I first heard about that from Nicole, and I think it's an awesome idea. I need to try it, though, because it's so much easier just to take the pictures and then not have to worry about listing all that information in the description, right?
Yeah, and she also said that because she took a picture of the measuring tape like that, it has saved her butt on occasion when somebody was like, oh, the measurements aren't right, and she's like, I have a picture of the measurements.
Exactly.
It's on eBay site with her. So.
My throat just closed.
Aww.
Okay, sorry. I went to talk and I went, no talk. No. All right. Okay. So, did anybody pick up? Did y'all go shopping this week? I didn't go shopping, so I have nothing to share with you. But did anybody go shopping?
I've been at the Goodwill outlet at least 3 or 4 times this past week.
You are on it. You're just like you're like addicted.
Well, my post office is right next door to the Goodwill outlet, and the way that I do shipping is I carry all of my packages in, and so while I'm dropping all of my packages off for the day, I go to the Goodwill outlet for a little bit.
I think that's awesome. That's always been like my business plan that I thought I was going to be already implemented, where I went out and went sourcing like 3 times a week, and then like listed the other 3 days a week, and that was really what I wanted to do, but I have yet to implement that actual plan of action. I want to do it so bad.
Yeah.
I just think I would have so much great stuff, but I just can't. I need to stop saying that. I can't. I can. I just don't.
We're like on the polar opposites, Deb, right? You're staying home listing, and I'm outsourcing way too much and not getting enough listed.
Fortunately, yeah, I haven't been buying. So at least whenever I'm having like a downtime, you know, where I'm like, I'm not being productive, at least I'm not going out shopping all the time.
Right?
Because that would be a disaster, because I used to do that. Like when I was having that problem where I was overanalyzing my listings, I was still shopping for like 6 months. I was shopping, but I wasn't listing. So.
That makes me wonder how many drafts I have. I have 21 drafts right now, which all of my items that I have in the house that need to be listed have drafts made. They're just waiting on pictures. And I have 21 drafts. I allowed myself to go to the Goodwill outlet yesterday because I was convinced I am not going to buy stuff until everything is listed. But if I'm listing like 26 items a day, I've got to have at least 26 drafts before I can say, no, I need to stay home and list these items because I have to have something to do the next day. So that's how I justify that.
So did we have any really great sales this week? I didn't even look it up. I didn't even prepare if I had something awesome that sold this week.
I sold a book. It's an Arabian bloodstock, like a bloodline book, and I bought it for $2.
Horses?
Uh-huh.
Arabian horses? Okay.
Yes, and it sold last night FBA for $150. Yay!
Wow. That's
So when
really cool.
Yeah.
When you're out looking at books, like, you don't just scan them all. Like, what triggers to you that something's worth you even looking up?
Well, that's a good point that you bring up, because this book, I don't think it had like the barcode on the back. So it was one of the books that I actually had to, punch in the ISBN number on it. And a lot of booksellers, they're in a hurry and they skip over that. Like, they don't take the time if it doesn't have a barcode. So,
do you use Flow or the regular Amazon, to take a picture of the covers?
I've tried Flow before, but really, to me, it's just faster for me to type in the title, But yeah, I use the Amazon Seller app.
My poor eye. It's like every time I start the show, I get something in my eye. It's like my eye curse. Did you have any great sales this week, Robin?
I sold those sidewalk shoes I told y'all about last week.
Oh, yay!
For $85.
Oh, that's crazy. See, I need to look. I miss doing shoes. It's just the problem with doing shoes is that the way that they set up the shoes at the Goodwills is that you have to walk the entire store.
Yeah.
Because the shoes are on top of the clothing. And clothing takes up 70% of the store. Your stores are like that too?
Yeah, the one that I used to go to every single day, that's how they had their shoes, yeah.
And so you have to walk the entire store, and you can't really take your cart with you because the aisles are too narrow, so if you run into somebody else, you can't get past. So, I need to start doing it again where that was the first thing I did. I'd walk in and I'd go up and down the aisles and find the shoes. It's a lot of aisles. You can spend half an hour doing that.
Yeah, I used to sell a lot of shoes too.
My next best sale of the week, though, was a piece of clothing that I accidentally bought. It wasn't even something that I bought on purpose. I forgot it was in the bundle of clothes that I bought. I think it was like Tuesday or something, and I came home and I was like, I didn't remember this was even here. But I looked it up anyway. The brand was CP Shades, and so I was, and it was a linen. It looked like a bathing suit cover-up or a little spring dress, or I mean, it was very light, sort of sheer. And I was like, the heck is this? You know, I thought CP Shades was, you know, when you're at the boardwalk or something, you have all those little beach stores and that kind of stuff, and it's just like their cheap crap. That's what it sounded like to me. And I was like, I can't believe I bought this. And so I'm looking it up, thinking it has to be worth something because it's linen. It was a Regina dress by CP Shades. And I was like, score! But then I put it on my mannequin, and it was a white linen dress. I put it on my mannequin and realized there was a hole right in the boobie.
Oh, no.
So I just closed it, and before, when I made up my draft, because I make my drafts before, so I made my draft as though it was, you know, had no issues because I didn't see it before I put it on the mannequin, and I listed it for $75. And then whenever I realized I had the hole in it or whatever, I put best offer or whatever, and somebody offered me $30-something for this dress with a hole in the boob. And I was like, I'll take that. So
That's great.
dress with a hole in it.
Did you put hole in the boob in the
Yeah, I did.
It probably was the boob keyword.
No, I said bust. I said in the left bust area or something silly like that. But
I didn't have,
go ahead. I've got tons of stuff to talk about, apparently.
I didn't have a lot, like any like super great sales this week. I did have some surprising sales though. Like I sold this old phone, like this old like it's just a regular phone, yeah. And I had somebody ask me specifically if it had a certain game on it. And I was like, so I had to go look it up, and I was like, oh yeah, it totally does. It totally has that game on it. And then they didn't buy it, and then somebody else like made me an offer on it. So I was like, oh, okay, great. I only paid $3.99 for that at the thrift store. Because I mean, who wants that phone?
What was the game they asked you?
Somebody.
I think it was a slot machine game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like, does it have the slot game on? I think that's what it was. I think it was slot machine.
That's interesting.
And then I sold a plush. I sold a wishbone, which I sold him for a lot more money than I expected because if you look at the actual like listings for
Because your pictures are awesome?
I think it's because my pictures are awesome. I do. Because if you look, he doesn't sell for that much. Like this one's $14.99.
Yeah.
It's the exact same one I had, and I sold mine for $29.99.
Why do you think that is?
And look, this one's $9.99, the exact same one. I think it's because my pictures are good.
Yeah.
Like, look, I mean, they're not great. They're not like the best pictures.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, compared to, you know, like.
Yeah.
If you compare it, maybe. Like, I mean, I don't know, it just looks better. I try to off-center things.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it looks better when you're putting stuff than to have them, like, facing forward. Like, think about it, like, whenever they tell you about taking pictures yourself, right, of, like, you know, posing. They say, don't stand there straight and look, they say, cock to the side and turn, you know, and make fishy face.
You are modeling that puppy dog.
But yeah, I didn't have any like super great sales this week, but I did have like I was surprised by the wishbone because I paid $1.99 for him, and I didn't even look him up. I bought him on it's Wishbone because I used to watch that when I was a kid. So, but yeah, those were my.
I sold a mug for $25 and some change because it looks like a pregnant lady torso. and in it's called maternity mug, And so you've got the belly, but underneath the handle is a booty crack.
That's so weird. Is that's where your pinky goes?
Yeah. And I actually said no cracks, and in the parentheses it says except for booty crack.
Yes, there was no cracks, and there's a giant crack underneath the middle.
And it sold within, I don't know, like an hour of me listing it.
That's hilarious.
It was listed for less than what I was asking, but maybe it had to do with the booty crack.
Awesome keywords.
Booty crack. Remember it. Booty crack. Did we have any like boo-boo sales this week? Like just not good? Just like what happened and why did I make $1? No, I think I have one. Let me look. I think because I remember looking at my spreadsheet and going, what? Why did I eat? I made $1.
Oh no.
I was like, why did I even bother doing that? Let me see.
I'm getting used to making less money.
Oh, here's one.
Item.
I made 31 cents.
Ooh.
I made 31 cents. Do you remember last week? No, it wasn't last week. It was in my sales video. I talked about a jewelry organizer for the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I didn't judge properly of what was supposed to be happening with that thing because I made 31 cents on that transaction. I think it was supposed to go first class mail, but it weighed all on its own without any packaging, like a pound .1.
Oh,
So yeah, I just So 31 cents.
You didn't lose
if you do 31 cents a million times, I mean,
know,
come
right?
on. It's all about volume. It's all about volume.
All right. So we do have a question.
Okay.
So Inner Peace is asking, he just is starting out with a store. Do you sell as an individual or a business?
Is that for Amazon or eBay? Because most people don't ask that about eBay.
eBay, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because most people ask an individual or business for Amazon. Let's see. Well, do you
eBay.
Yeah, maybe he's asking about hobby. Like hobby? I'm confused. You mean about like how to put in your tax number, or like how you're running? You need to elaborate in our Inner Peace.
In the chat.
Yeah.
Everybody likes your giraffe, Deb.
That's my new boss. He used to say get to work on him, and I need to sell him because Chad sold his, and I haven't even listed mine. He's just been hanging around.
What'd he sell his for?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I think he said $60 or something like that. I'm not sure. And I asked him, like, because I was asking him, I was like, well, how did you ship yours?
Yeah.
He was like in a large Lowe's moving box, and that he like bent the neck down or something. But my neck doesn't bend, so I'm not sure about that. Like, I mean, he's like, that don't bend. That's as far as it goes. That's it.
You're going to need a big box.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fairly large in me because it doesn't do any bending. I might just sell him locally. I might just keep him. I've gotten used to him. We named him Malcolm, and he's my new business partner, and he's been telling me what to do, and he's not very motivating because he doesn't. I haven't been doing anything, but he's been right here watching me. But yeah, I kind of like him. I might just keep him around and stick him over here next to my desk. But he's one of the ones that like. He stands up all on his own, and it's one of those things that parents buy and they regret. They're like, why did I buy this thing that takes up all of this room and serves no purpose? So, yeah.
He looks cool.
He does look cool, and he's super soft. He's got like the softest little fur, and you can hug him.
Oh, he's got a name tag too, I see.
Yeah, I said I named him. I named him after Righteous Reseller's business partner, Malcolm. This is my Malcolm. Because they're very successful together, so maybe me and my Malcolm will be very successful too. Yeah. I'll take him to the store with me, maybe. Did Inner Peace elaborate? Oh, register as an individual, the opening of a store. You need a business account. If you do it as a personal seller, I don't think that you get. I know that there's a different. You need to do it as a business. That's my consensus. You set it up as a business, right, Tanya?
No, I mean I'm just an individual.
On your eBay, when you're looking at your eBay account, let me look. I'm pretty sure I'm registered as a business. I think the reason why I did that is because I didn't want my name on everything, and I wanted to have a different address, and I wanted different things. But let me look so we can check on that. And then, did anybody learn anything new this week? Well, I'm trying to look that up. Do we have anything new that we learned? Any new brands? Any new methods? Any new information? Anything?
I shared with everyone about Crabtree and Evelyn. Have you ever heard of it?
We used to have that store in the mall, and then it like disappeared.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of their scents are discontinued now, and they sell for really good money on eBay. Like if you do a search on eBay and sort highest to lowest under the sold listings, then you can get an idea of some of the really good ones that sell well.
That's really interesting to keep up with that kind of stuff, because I know the same kind of thing works with like Bed Bath & Beyond and some of the Mary Kay, some of the things that get discontinued, and
Yes.
people get stuck on those. You can do that with hair color. You got to think that somebody's been dyeing their hair the same color for 20 years, and then Revlon decides that they're going to discontinue that shade.
Right.
People will lose their selves over. They're like, no.
And they will pay up.
Mm-hmm. They will pay up. They will pay up a lot.
I have a problem just in going to my regular store and finding the color that I use on my hair. Like sometimes it's there and then sometimes it's just not, and it's like, what the heck? So I've gotten frustrated before and just ordered hair color online so that I know that I have it when I want it.
So I was looking at the eBay information, and it's saying about business and individual accounts that if you're gonna, you should generally set up a business account if you're going to be selling items that you bought to resell. Or if you're going to be selling new items that you bought but you are not going to use personally.
I don't even know where to find that on my.
I set mine up so long ago. I'm sure it's
basically saying that the reason why you want some of the advantages of setting up a business account is that you're registering it as a company name. So any of the communications or emails and invoices all go through the company name, not as your individual name, which I don't like my individual name tied to anything that has to do with my business. When I'm sending out, you got to think you're dealing with thousands of customers. I don't want my home address and my phone number, because they can get that information. What you registered with eBay, all they have to do is request contact information, and that's how they get your personal phone numbers. And so what the information that you gave eBay when you signed up, customers can get that information, your address, your phone number, and your personal email address. So I would go business. I don't want people having that. So I have a P.O. box. I have a business phone number. I have an 800 number I have through Call 8. And you don't have to have a DBA to make a business name. You should, and it doesn't take a lot of trouble to get a DBA. You know, it's like, what, $20 or $30 depending on where you live, and it's just a form. It's nothing special. But you don't even have to have a DBA to set up your eBay with, like, a business name. So.
Yeah, I have a P.O. box too, but I heard some people talking about that 800 number last night. Who do you get yours through?
I use Call 8, Kall8, the number 8. It's $2 a month.
Oh, you can't beat that.
And then they charge you like by the minute if somebody calls you. I've never had a bill higher than like $4.
Oh, I'm going to look
I
into
just
that.
don't get calls, but periodically I do. I would say about once a month. I'll get a phone call. I got one last week for the dog collar. The guy bought a dog collar. The dog collar was too big for his dog. He wanted to exchange it, and he wanted me to make sure I held on to the medium one that I had listed because it was the only one I had. He's
He
like, hey,
contacted you through Amazon?
no, eBay.
Oh, eBay, okay.
Yeah, because on my packing slips, I don't know if there's one up here. I have a store flyer. I can show it to you. And basically, I put it on the back of all of my packing slips, but it's something that's set up in eBay. And I guess this goes into shipping because this is something that I ship with all of my items. I print out the packing slip, and then I put the piece of paper back in the printer, and I print on the back of it some information, and I'll show you the information that I put on there, and that's where they get the phone number from. So when you go into your eBay, let me share here, and you go into printing your shipping labels, on here you can print out your packing slip, but then down here, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. I'm looking at the wrong. Down here is your store flyer, and you can edit that and make it look how you would like. And so this is the store flyer that I print on the back of my packing slips.
Cool.
And it has my phone number. It also has a discount link for them. If they use that link, they can get a discount on anything they buy in my store. It used to have instructions for how to, back when you used to get iNads, it used to have, like, and it affected you with defects. What I did, and that's when I started this, is I had printed up here that we provided free return shipping. They needed to say that they didn't want the item anymore. And they would get a prepaid shipping label. So that just kind of prevented me from getting fake iNads with people not knowing, oh, they'll just pay the shipping back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I print those on the back of all of my things. I used to have these, I stopped doing it, but I used to put these in all of my packages, and I would tape them, like I'd put a little sticker and I would tape them to my item, and it has the contact information and the phone number.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It is awesome. Yeah,
you're awesome.
I do all kinds of little stuff, like I print these out and put them on, that's what I seal up my tissue paper with. Tissue paper and bubble wrap. I stopped doing that in color, and I started doing it on my Dymo. And so now I have these that say thank you for shopping my eBay business, or thank you for supporting my eBay business, and it has the phone number and the email address for them to contact me directly.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's how I ship my stuff.
I don't think we can top that.
No.
Well, that was a big issue that I had whenever I was talking about starting to use Celery. Is I was like, oh, I'm not going to get to do that stuff that I do, where I use colored tissue paper and put my little stickers and, make sure, and I've got like colored poly bags and things like that. And then so I talked to them about it, and I was like, hey, I have stickers and things that I normally put on my stuff. If I send you the stickers, would you be able to put those on my items? And they said yeah, that they would. So
Cool.
But it's just still really hard for me to wrap around, because I don't know, I used to be very personalized about my shipping. When I first started, I had ribbon that I would wrap things with. It would be tied like a gift, like the tissue paper and then ribbon, like coordinating colored ribbon. It was sickening. It was very, like, over the top. It was really over the top. And then I had, like, little butterfly things that were, like,
oh, Lord.
goes with a butterfly, and it had a thing, and it went through the ribbon, and, yeah, it was ridiculous. And It was outright ridiculous. Like,
That'd be great for Poshmark, though.
probably,
Yeah.
and it would be kind of, yeah, very fancy.
Yeah, I print out the packing slips. Somebody was asking in the chat, does everyone, do you include a packing slip? So I do, and then I also include these little business card sized little cards, and they say, you know, thank you for your order. And I got that idea actually from Ann over at See Ann Save, and they're really inexpensive to print out at Vista for like $10 for 500 cards. So, and that's all I do.
Yeah, it would cost you more in ink than it would cost to pay the $10 for those cards. Like if you printed 500 cards, it would cost you like so much ink,
Right.
like colored ink.
I'm such a slacker. For all of you guys who feel like slackers,
Like I just put it in a Hallmark box and send it on.
Are you representing Robin?
yes. I shove my item in the envelope and I seal it up and slap a label on it. I don't put any of that. I've been considering it because I want people to maybe possibly look at my Poshmark as well, and so I've been considering printing out little business cards with a link to my Poshmark store, so that they could be like, oh, I've never heard of that before, and then they go check my Poshmark out too. But I haven't done it yet simply because I'm a slacker like that. So no, I just shove my item in a padded envelope, or I've got poly mailers now, so I'm shipping off clothes, and seal it up and slap my label on there.
I do see some people in the chat talking about the new priority boxes. And how big they are. They're basic, and they are basic. They're the regional C boxes that we all used to get and then didn't ship anything in them and then set them in our storage and use them for storage. But if you have a regional box, you can just use it for regular priority shipping. They do recommend, and I did call the post office about this and make sure, because I was asking about it back last year, and I was like, look, we got these regional C boxes. What do you want me to do with them? Nobody uses them. Can I just ship with them, you know? And he said, yeah, you shouldn't have a problem. The rules of the way that any flat rate or regional box have is that if you've altered the box in any way, it's going to ship at the standard priority rate. And so if you scratch out the regional area or cover it with a sticker or whatnot, that's going to be altering the box. And so essentially it'll ship at the standard priority rate. And okay. So when you're doing your shipping, I know now I'm starting to use a lot of SmartPost, and I've touched on this before, but I'm going to touch on it again because I know people worry about, and I've seen people saying that they're shipping items because they're concerned about the insurance. Okay, now you can get insurance through ShipSurance on eBay. Is it ShipSurance or ShipSaver? And it's only 79 cents per $100. And if you're going to be using SmartPost, I would suggest you add on your own insurance, because what happens is the item goes ground and then it gets transferred off to the post office in the region. And what ends up happening is if at some point that item gets broken, the two carriers will try to claim that the other one is responsible. I've also heard recently, and I've been hearing people say that you don't have to take your item to FedEx to ship at SmartPost. And I'm going to have to say that that's completely wrong information. And please do not take your items to the post office or give them to your carrier, because what's going to end up happening is your item is going to go regular parcel select service. It's not even supposed to be going that way to begin with, and you lose any kind of protection that you had from FedEx also. Because the post office is not responsible for that item. So you're giving it to them, and they have no responsibility for it, if that makes sense. The SmartPost service that you can give to the post office initially is Smart Post return service. And that's what generally like Old Navy and any of the retailers, like online retailers like, Macy's or JCPenney's, whatever, when you're going to return an item to them, that's the label that they're giving you. It's going to be either a Smart Post or a Smart Connect label. And it's a return service. It's not a person to person, or, it's not your standard initial shipping. It's their return service that they use. And it is in the rules, and if you read about it, you need to go look at FedEx Smart Post and what the rules are, and do not listen to other people. Don't even listen to me. Go read the rules yourself, because it's one of those situations like with taxes that it's like, oh, well, I listened to this group, or I listened to these people that I thought they knew what they were talking about, and then you were wrong, or they were wrong. And then I've also been seeing a lot of people talk about that, oh, well, what am I supposed to do about insurance? I just shipped this delicate item. Don't ship delicate items, Smart Post. Don't ship delicate items, Parcel Select, because have you ever seen those boxes when they show up? They look like somebody was kicking them. I mean, like, if you ever gotten a return, like an item that maybe didn't make it to the house, and then it comes back, like when it comes back to you, it comes back the slowest way possible, which is Parcel Select. Those boxes look like somebody was punching them. they're like all dirty, and like one side is smashed in, and yeah, I wouldn't ship anything that's delicate, or
I used Parcel Select, I think, once or twice, and whenever I very first started selling. And it's also my customer received packages that were messed up like that, and it was the only time, well, besides media mail, to where they got lost too. I don't know why that is, but my item got lost in shipping using Parcel Select. I just always use Priority or First Class now. So
there really isn't a reason to use Parcel Select anymore, because it's more expensive than Priority.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, and you have no insurance either. So, but if you are going to be using Smart Post, you can go into your eBay applications on your account and basically put, I'll show it to you. So hopefully, so if you go into your applications and you go down, it's Ship Saver, and basically it'll bring up your orders, and you can add insurance to the item right there. You just click to insure it, and it insures your postage as well. So it'll include the item amount and the postage cost is what you'll get back if you have an insurance claim.
That's awesome. You're so knowledgeable.
I try, or I just talk out of my butt, one or the other.
No, you're telling me stuff all the time that I never even knew.
I learn from Deb all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Ship Saver is a great thing to use if you're going to ship internationally on your own. I know a lot of people talk about, they're like, oh, I only use Global Shipping Program, and I'm like, yeah, but that just costs your customer so much money. And you lose the money that you would make on your shipping discount, because your international shipping discount is pretty huge. You can make $5 to $10 on shipping just off of your shipping discount for international. And if you're shipping to places like Canada, Global Shipping Program totally screws them over. Like the Canadians.
Yeah, because it doesn't cost as much, right?
Mm-hmm. It shouldn't cost as much, but they end up paying duty fees and taxes and all these other things. Plus, they're paying priority on the item that should have only cost them like $18 to get, and they're paying like $10 or $15 extra. And so even if you're not willing to ship overseas, you can set up your listing that everything goes Global Shipping Program except for Canada. And you can ship that yourself, First Class International. It does have tracking, and if you're concerned, you can add insurance through Ship Saver. It costs $1. And if the item gets lost, they'll pay you. So, but I've never had I have never had a single problem shipping in Canada. But
I'll have to look into that because I don't think I like ever sell to Canada really, and maybe that's the reason why. Because all I ever use is global shipping program.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look into that.
So even if you're worried about, I don't want to ship international, at least do Canada on your own. I mean, it's such a low risk place. You don't have the customers like that I was talking about with the UK where they're like, oh, I don't want to pay. I didn't know I was going to have this duty fee, and this and that. They don't have that. So you're not going to end up with a customer, saying, oh, well, I didn't know, I don't want to pay this or whatever, and then the item comes back to you and you lost your shipping. So yeah, Canada is a very low risk place that I would definitely, you can put global shipping program and then you can put other shipping, international shipping options, and Canada is one of the ones that comes up, just Canada all by itself. And first class international, but yeah.
Didn't know that either.
Cool.
So do you both of you just use global shipping program?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I started using global shipping program almost as soon as I learned about it, like a year and a half ago or something.
It's a really great program for people that are concerned about shipping internationally. It allows them to ship internationally when they normally wouldn't at all.
Right.
You can select individual countries that you want to ship to as well. Like you could say, oh, I'll ship to Canada, Australia, the UK, and Japan myself. But everybody else needs to go global shipping program. And you can set it up that way.
I think I've seen the check boxes before. I've just never really paid attention to them. I'm like, not changing none of that. Next.
Right, that's me. So people are talking about in the chat that they had some sales on Bonanza.
I've been getting sales on Bonanza pretty much every day. I have at least one sale. Did any of you?
I got to set mine up again.
I'm sorry?
I got to set mine up again. I don't think it's set up.
Yeah. Did you end up setting up one, Ramen, or no?
The web store thing or whatever?
No, just the booth, not the web store.
Yeah, I have a Bonanza, but I hardly ever sell anything from Bonanza. The one time in the last couple months that I did sell on Bonanza was something that I ended up not having anymore, so I had to cancel the sale.
Yeah, I ran into that problem when I first started using Bonanza way back like 2 years ago. Every single thing that I sold on there was something that I had already sold before. And so then they sent me like an alert that I had like high cancellation, and I was like,
wow.
But if you, I know I've let you guys know, but the Bonanza's really changed a lot in the past, recent history, and so now they sync up real time. So when you sell something on Bonanza, it will take your eBay item and put it in your unsolds. So it doesn't. So you have less of a chance of selling the same thing, like a duplicate.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. The one thing I did notice that it doesn't do is if you have a variation listing that's like multi-quantity, it doesn't deduct out of your quantities. So I did notice that this morning. And yeah.
Somebody's asking if your giraffe is for sale.
He is for sale.
What you want to pay for it, Mike?
I'm quite fond of him.
Make her an offer.
Yeah, right? Make me an offer, and I will definitely consider it. I see Trisha's asking about, I thought if you add global shipping program to your listings, that any additional international shipping you offer doesn't show up. That's not true. If the person is in the country that you've designated, so let's just say you have global shipping program, but then you have Canada designated that you're going to ship it yourself. If that person's in Canada, it will come up as your rate to ship yourself. It won't come up as global shipping program. Rosalie's asking, if you change the price and shipping on eBay, do you have to change it on Bonanza? No, it'll update. And it's a setting that you need to put in there because if you don't put the setting correctly, it'll duplicate your item thinking that it's a different item. So make sure that you, it's one of the little check boxes about updating listings. Just when it syncs it'll go ahead and sync your prices and your shipping as well.
Barbara's asking if you can go on vacation mode on Bonanza.
You sure can. Yeah, you can put your booth on vacation. So when you're doing your shipping process, what do you do as far as like, this is what I've got things to ship today. This is how I do it. Do you have an inventory system set up that helps you get to your items that you need to ship? Do you buy your boxes? Do you buy materials? Like, what is your shipping setup like?
Tanya.
Robin?
I'll let you go first.
Well, for the most part, I just use the USPS boxes. And then, like, when I'm shipping snapback hats, I'll use the, like the 6x6 boxes you can buy at Walmart. I think they're like 50 cents or something. I'll use those to ship first class for the hats. And, you know, used to, I would try to print out my shipping labels as soon as I had a sale if I was at home. But now with this whole new thing about eBay tracking the numbers, the confirmation number, I kind of hold off and wait and make sure that it's going to get there within the right amount of time. What is it, 24 hours or 48?
It's not time frame. It's not a time. It's the next business day by midnight Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not doing so hot on that late shipment thing. I'm at 3.93% on late shipment.
Now you're making me wonder what mine is.
Yeah, me too.
I had a lot of them. I have 3 of them that were from the day after Thanksgiving. I printed the labels and they were boxed up, but I didn't make it to the post office. So the tracking was put in there on time, but I didn't make it to the post office, and I took them on that Saturday, and they were all late. They counted them as late.
Oh, I'm 3.06 for late shipment, right?
5.06?
No, 3.
Oh, yeah. I'm up at just under 4%. And I look at them and I'm just like, these are bull. Like, these are bull. Like, I'm just like.
Okay, so how do I check it? I go to my dashboard?
It's in your dashboard and it's under performance.
Okay, let me go look.
And it's just like when you look at your normal, mine says that I'm losing my top rated seller next month.
What?
Mm-hmm. Because of late shipments.
Oh, but that'll be easily fixed, though. Like,
it's
less
not
than a month.
that easily fixed. Like,
really?
Everybody thinks you can do it by volume, but I don't have any that were late since December, and mine are it hasn't gone down at all. Like, it went from like 3.99 to 3.76 or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I just pulled up my full report, and the last time I had something that went out late was January 2nd, so.
I got one from the 23rd, and I'm not even sure why, because that item was supposed to ship, it says that it was late by the carrier, that the carrier said it was late. Which, I don't know. I'm really kind of confused about how that was supposed to work, because I thought that they were only supposed to go back and check if the customer clicked off and said this item was late. Because you know how they're supposed to answer the questions now that say, you know, was your item delivered on time? And then they go back, if the customer said, no, this item was not delivered on time, then they go back and look and see, did you ship it on time? And if you didn't ship it on time, then it's your fault, it was late. You know what I mean? But if you shipped it on time and it showed up late, then that wasn't your fault, that was a carrier issue. But that they only did that if the customer said the item was late. So they're not. I only have one on here that the customer said it was late, and he's full of junk because it was supposed to be delivered Smart Post, and I sent it out priority mail. But yeah, so I don't know. Out of the 12 that they say are late, only one was that the buyer saying that it was late. So I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm really confused.
I'm confused. Under late shipment rate, it doesn't give me a percentage. I just have a number.
What does it say?
4.
That's probably your percentage.
4 out of 118?
Oh, 4 late? Oh.
I guess. I don't see a percentage, though.
Yeah, mine says 12 out of 305. So, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Because I didn't think that that's the way the program worked. I was pretty sure that they said that they would only go back and check if the customer said this item was delivered late. And then they would go back and verify if you, based off of the metrics, if you shipped it on time, if it was dropped off at the carrier on time, and, and then after that point, if it wasn't, then it was either your fault or not your fault. And then it dinged you. But what I'm seeing is that it dings you even if the customer doesn't say it was late.
I always carry every single package that I ship into the post office, either the day or the very next day that it's sold personally, and have them scan it in and get a receipt. So.
I need to clarify a question for Christine. She was asking about why you're not able to say that an item is going to ship in a regional A box. And I kind of confused her a little bit. Regional A boxes ship at a 2-pound rate that is not commercial plus. So you get a commercial discount, but not the commercial plus discount, so it's slightly higher than what 2 pounds comes out with when you're doing your shipping. When you're selecting your item that you know is going to ship in a regional A box, if you're not shipping it international, you don't need to worry about like putting that it's over whatever the real weight is. I'm trying to get this worded right because it's going to get real confusing. Basically, you would put your rate as priority mail 2 pounds, and that'll cover your shipping costs, because the price that you end up paying for the box is going to be more than it ends up costing you for regional A. The price that the customer pays will be more than regional A. But if you're shipping internationally, you need to make sure that you put in the proper weight. If you're doing global shipping program, it really doesn't matter, just ship, because you're shipping it to Kentucky, so it's just going to be the 2 pounds. So it really just depends on how you're doing it. If you need help with that, it's hard for me to explain, but based off of how you're shipping, I can kind of answer your question individually. So if you want to send me a message, I can help you with that. So it's kind of confusing, but maybe I'm confusing it. Maybe I'm.
I don't think I've ever. I think I may have used a regional box like once or twice.
Yeah, me too, Robin.
I use them all the time because shoes fit in them. Like, you can fit a size 8 or smaller in a regional A box, and so if they're going to ship at a 3-pound rate, it's cheaper to put them in a regional A.
I ship my shoes mostly in a padded flat rate envelope.
Same here.
Yeah, I do if they're sandals or if they're Toms or something like that, but if they have structure, I don't generally put them in a flat rate padded. Because if they get smushed on the, that part of...
Or if they cost a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it's a presentation kind of thing, too.
Yeah, if they cost a lot of money, I don't worry. I don't do the padded flat rate. I think that if you pay $50+ for a pair of shoes, I'm shipping them in a box.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about books too.
Yeah. And if they don't fit easily in the padded flat rate, and I feel like I have to shove them in there, then I do the box too, because I'm not,
Yeah, like my Converse that I shipped out last week, I could have put them in a flat rate. It would have saved a lot of shipping because they shipped at a 3-pound rate. But I didn't want to, only because, do you know how it is like with shoes like that, like canvas shoes, or they have that piece of plastic or whatever that's in the heel? And I'm sure when you were a kid and you were in Kids, you broke that thing down by trying to slip your foot into it. And so I get really concerned about that getting crushed.
Yeah.
In the envelope, because if you mess that part up and it gets dented in, you can't fix it. Did we have any more questions in the chat, Tanya?
I think you got them all.
We're good? Okay. Did anybody have any additional shipping things that... Oh, we didn't talk about things that we use, like tools that we use. Do you have any tools that you use? I know I have some tools that I use.
Scissors and tape.
Wow! I'll show you. If you don't have one of these, you need one of these. It's a carton resizer for your boxes.
I've got to get one of those.
They're like $15, and it basically you adjust it to however you want your flaps to be, and it's so you can cut down boxes so they're not so big, and then it has this little cutting edge right here that scores it across, so that way your lines are all straight. It's not all.
I never knew anything like that existed.
Yeah, carton resizer, and they're great.
Cool.
They work out really good if you're frankenboxing stuff,
Right.
or if you're trying to save, like, because excessive box is excessive weight, so sometimes you can cut them down and knock them underneath a pound mark, you know. And then I have these shear things that I got at Lowe's, and I love these as opposed to scissors because they get in, like, when you're cutting down the sides of boxes and across boxes, you can see the difference between trying to do this and this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I bought, and this was kind of something that got into a debate with people about, I don't want to advertise, you know, items so that they get stolen. And I'm like, what about Amazon and their big Amazon smiley face thingy? And everybody can see it's an Amazon box.
Yeah.
You know, every single thing. Because I bought the eBay tape.
I do too. I love it.
And I love it. I
Yeah,
love putting it on my boxes.
me too.
So, but I've heard people say, like, oh, I don't want to advertise something to be sold. I'm sure they talk just like that too. I don't want to advertise them. I'm just kidding. And then prior to me having eBay tape, I had thank you for your order tape. Malcolm! I had thank you for your order tape, and I would put that on the.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. It's okay. Oh, we're good. Okay. And what else do I? I buy my own boxes. I know some people don't, but I think for first class, it's totally worth spending, 30 cents on a box to save you $3 on a package. If you're not knocking up into priority mail. And I buy the 6x6x6s, the 8x6x6s, and there's one smaller one that's a little bit flatter.
What
Where do you
company
buy
are
it
you buying
from?
from?
Huh?
What company are you buying from?
I get mine from a local store called Half Price Boxes.
Oh.
But I've seen very similar pricing by the same person that I use for my poly mailers, and I like to buy really pretty poly mailers. I have purple and pink and blue and hearts and flowers, and they also had boxes, and they were small, and I think that they were inexpensive. But let me see. Their name is on the bag, so I'm trying to get it off. Okay. U-Pack and Ship. UPAKNSHIP.
Are they on eBay?
Yes.
They sound familiar.
Yeah, they're on eBay, and they do have boxes that they sell. I didn't price compare, but I know it's very similar to what I pay locally for the little boxes, and I pay less than 30 cents a piece for them. So was that all the questions that we had? Are we all...
Rhonda asked about eBay Radio. Does anybody listen to eBay Radio? I mean, I listened to it when Nicole was on not too long ago, but I don't really listen on a regular basis.
I don't either. I was on eBay Radio twice, and the first time I was going to be on, I listened to eBay Radio like the day before, so that way I could understand like what they did, because I had never listened to it prior to me actually being on the show. Was she referencing something in particular about it, or just if we listened?
Make a look. I don't think so.
Bev is asking what label printer we use. I use Dymo. I have a Dymo Duo that I got at the Goodwill for $4.99. I have a Dymo 4XL that another reseller gave to me because she was just so incredibly frustrated with it and couldn't get it to work properly. And I think I found out it had a little like animal fuzz or like a fuzz or an animal hair or something in the sensor, and so it was just pulling labels through. So I cleaned it out and it worked.
Very nice.
And then other than that, I just use a regular Brother printer. But like, because my label printer, it was totally unnecessary at the time that I bought it. I was just being excessive. Like, there was no reason for me to get it, but I just wanted one really bad.
I just use my regular jet.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah. She was talking about because there was a Brother that was on sale. I don't remember what I heard about the Brothers, if they were something to get or not. That would definitely be something that you would want to go search one of the eBay reseller groups, because I know when the Brothers came out, people talked about them pretty heavily. So I'm pretty sure they would have the pros and cons of the Brother thermals. I know Brother laser printers are the best thing ever, but the Brother thermals, I'm not sure. And then, can you resize a priority box? You can. You can't resize a flat rate box and it still ship flat rate. It'll ship regular priority mail, but you can resize any of the boxes you want.
Hey, you guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get all the questions, and then we were going to close out. Have fun at the dentist.
Oh, thanks.
Bye.
Let's see. And what size do you use to ship a coffee mug? The regular 6x7 by 6x6s. Do you use those, Tanya?
Yeah, from USPS.
Yeah, the 7 by 6x6s. They're little cute boxes.
Perfect size.
Yeah, they are perfect. I think that's it. So, yep. Awesome. Well, I know we didn't cover all the ins and outs. It's just impossible. As soon as we get off air, I'm like, oh, I should have said.
Exactly.
But anyway, I hope you got something helpful out of all of that. And if not, thanks for watching us anyway. Yeah. And but I hope everybody has a really great week. And Tanya, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, hope everyone has a good week.
All right. See y'all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.